Alright, hello. Give me just a moment, just fixing up some stuff on my end. Okay, I think that's all sorted now. But hello, how's everyone doing tonight? I think it should be all good, so let me just double check, what can I call it? My OBS to see if, yep, it looks good. Hello! How you doing, Swordfish? How's your night been? It's gonna be a little bit of a short stream again. I was going to stream earlier, but I came home from work, ate some lunch, did a couple of things I needed to do, and then I was meant to take a nap till dinner time. But I did a dumb. I forgot to set myself an alarm. I was gonna like wake up at like 6 or 7, eat dinner and then stream. But by the time I woke up, it was like 10 already. So I was like, well, I guess I gotta quickly eat and get ready for a stream. So yeah, that was a thing. Which isn't great, but tomorrow I'm gonna be streaming a lot earlier, or at least that's the plan, because I've got something on in the evening. So I gotta do something in the afternoon. I just gotta do a thing. Yeah, I was going to paint Bloodletters tonight, but I'm super tired for some reason. No, I get that feeling. I know why I'm super tired at least, because I took a way too long of a nap. But, you know, sometimes it be like that. It is a Sunday, so I don't blame you if you're super tired. Did a bunch of cleaning at work today, so it's not too bad. A little busy, but otherwise was good to get my get some of the stuff I needed to do done at work. All right, so which directions have we not done yet? We haven't done from the left side because we've done the right side, right? So we'll do the left side, which should be pretty similar to that side, but a bit bigger. I think one thing I do want to change is like how much this is. Oh, wrong. Is this? Oh, there. Yeah. Gonna be doing anything special for your bloodlets, or is it gonna just be nice, nice and simple? Next, I need some bread. Which direction do I want it coming from? I'm gonna do from underneath. I haven't painted any of my models recently. I still got quite a bit to go for, but I haven't set aside time to paint. Like I got some miniatures to paint for some other games like Bolt Action because my friends and I are doing a slow grow of that. but the ones I want to paint at the moment are like still some of my old Heroes Heresy stuff, and I need to build through some of my Kill Team things. So yeah, there's a couple of those I need to go through. My friend convinced me to get some Battletech miniatures too, because they're really into it. So I figured, yeah, I'll get it. I'll try it out, see what it's all about. And I was looking at the miniatures and starting to clean up some of them online, and they look really cool. And I'm excited to try painting them up. I'm not exactly sure how I'll go about it just yet, but I think I want to do them as like a mercenary corps. I don't really know much about Battletech overall, so I'm gonna read through the books before I do anything else. Like the rule book they got, I assume there's probably a book for some lore or some information about the universe and the state it's in. But I got the start of the what do you call it? The starter box, whichever one that is. I don't think it has a name. It just says Battletech on the top. Whatever the new starter box is. Because I was looking at some of the like expansions, like Clan Invasion, and they have like little cute little dudes in like armored suits, which is really cool, and I kind of want to get. But yes, my basic horn colors. Want to try and bash out a lot of my backlog of troops and stuff. That's fair enough. Are you gonna get them ready for anything in particular, or is it just more for the sake of getting everything done? Yeah, because it's coming down from this side. Needs to be mostly this. Okay, let's start off with the face. I want to make sure there's some light here. Apparently there's gonna be like some lighting here. I think that's a bit much. Basically, there's gonna be a lot of light shown through here at the bottom of their face. It makes a lot of sense since the light's coming from below. Also, how did your what's it called, Soulbound game go last night? Managed. I think I remember you saying that you're getting pretty close towards the end of it, right? Something like this. If this part's covered because it's going up, it should be basically the reverse of that. I don't want to finish them off. I want them finished for Soulbound this week, but I'm usually pretty bad about getting stuff done in deadlines. That's fair. I reckon with deadlines, it's a lot easier to set yourself lots of small goals. Or at least personally, I find it easier to set myself lots of small goals rather than like a large one. Kind of like what I've been doing with this. Like rather than me saying like, all right, I gotta finish all 8 of these by the end of the week. I was like, all right, in today's stream, I want to finish these 2. For example, like if I can, I want to finish 3. That sort of thing. Like today, I want to try finish at least 2 because that's what I've been doing for the last couple days. But 3 would be ideal, I think, or even all 4. But by setting myself that sort of lower deadline, it's like, all right, I've got a little bit more, something smaller and achievable to get to, if that makes sense. Rather than trying to like be like, here's a big deadline I gotta do. it's a little bit harder because it can be like quite intimidating sometimes, depending on what it is. So I don't know if it worked for you, but maybe you could be like, all right, today I want to finish. Like I guess it depends on how you're approaching them. If you're painting them individually or batch painting them, it could be like if you're doing them individually, it's like, all right, I'm gonna finish these 2 models today. I'll set myself an hour aside or something like that, which is a little bit easier. Like you could even paint while you watch my stream. That's why I usually do invite my friends to do. A lot of them are like, I want to draw, I want to like paint. It's like, yeah, just come chill on my stream and chat for a bit, but work on whatever it is you're working on. That way you actually get some work done. But what else would, like you could do that? Or if you're doing like batch painting, it might be that I will get this color base coat done, either on all of them, or maybe even just like small and be like, all right, on these 5, this step is going to be done by today, sort of thing. And trying to break it down in advance, being like, all right, so this is what I need to get done by today, this is what I need to get done by tomorrow, and then until the day of the deadline. A game should be Wednesday unless Mike's kids come over covered in germs again. I see. What day is it? It is Sunday. So you got like for 2-3 days. So that's not too, it's not too bad. I guess I'd like split it up in like 2 or 3 sections if that helps. Otherwise, some good luck. You got any pictures you want to show them? Feel free to link it in chat if you want to show off some of your what's it called? Blood versus. Sorry, 1 second. Doors. Gotta open the door. Oop, bump my neck. Okay, back. Going to be trying to get base coats done with contrast settings. Yeah. Definitely speeds up the process, especially if you gotta paint a bunch of them for something like, what do you call it? If my brain could work for a moment, for like any RPG, because I think that might be what like some burns out some people who like to paint models for those sort of games. That sometimes it's just them painting them, especially if they're the GM. Sometimes like it's like I gotta paint this up for it, but I can't exactly. And then the players either can't help because they don't really paint, or they don't want the players to help because it's like, it's gonna spoil like the surprise if they know what kind of characters that they're facing. You know what I mean? But it's always cool when if there's a bunch of people who collect models, or you can convince your players to help paint models, even if it's their own. I think that's what I'll be trying to do if I ever get another D&D group meeting up in real life again. I would be very keen to get models painted up if they use model settings, because I know some game groups that just don't. Do you find that Soulbound works really well with models? Underneath it, which is like down here. So let's make that a little bit smaller now. A little bit more like that since I've made this small. Doesn't need them, but it's nice to have the visual feedback. That's fair. There's like, do you use them mostly just to show off, be like, this is the guys reversing? Or do you actually like use like some form of boarded grid or tape measure to kind of like represent distance and all that? Because one of the things because I normally play when I do like D&D and all that, like more often than not, I've been playing on like a gridded base board, which makes sense. But I've seen some people do them with like just using like a tape measure instead, which is like, oh, that's cool. Gives it a little bit more freeform action, so you can kind of just be like, I want to move this direction, and using like inches or like centimeters as distance instead of using a thing. So it might be like 1 inch equals like 5 foot or something. I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit too small, but you get what I mean. And so that's been something I want to experiment with. I don't know what the exact ratio would be, which would probably be worth looking into, since that would be helpful. But it'd be a little bit of fun doing it that way. All this hair should be colored in like this, and then I'll erase it. For same with this. Thank you for the mic. As always, you can like add this a little bit here. I run a drawn map. I see. Do you like make it gridded? Or do you make just kind of like draw? Because that's another thing I've seen, like, which I thought worked well, because I had like a giant tiled board that I used, but I've seen some people just draw on like a gridded bit of paper, and some people have been using like giant like maps of it, which I thought was cool. I was like, oh, that makes sense. Maybe I should try that at some point. Soulbound uses abstract distances. Okay. So it's not exactly like grid based, it's kind of just like, alright, you just need to roughly know that you're kind of close or kind of far to it. Is that right? Yeah, like it's like on the bridge and stuff. Okay, I see. So it's not like very specific, which is fine. Like I know some people who like the more like tactical style. If it's like, oh yeah, it's exactly like 5 foot in front of you, and therefore all this sort of things. But I find whenever you do it that way, you only get like small distances, or at least that's from my experience playing like D&D and all that. Whenever we used like a tactical board, it was always like, yeah, you're kind of pretty close. Like a lot of the time you can't exactly like show off being like, all right, you're 200 feet away from this enemy, and you got like they started bombarding you with arrows or like something like that. It's always got to be close, and because of the size of the board, people tend to make the encounters based on the size of it. Which isn't bad per se, it's completely fine, but it just one of its weaknesses is that having like not the capability of showing off large distances from a foe due to the fact that the size of the board is so limited. Because like usually you could get bigger boards, but you probably wouldn't have room on the table to stuff it in amongst like all the other players, like, you know, books, character sheets, places for writing, all that jazz. And that's assuming that you also don't have snacks, which we often have during our sessions. Lots of small foods, like finger food to eat while playing. Which I guess is harder when you're using actual proper models that you've painted, because you gotta like be like, all right, we can have this, but you can't like eat chips. You can eat like, and then hold the models, because otherwise they get kind of janked or like all like gross. Like, I probably would prefer like finger foods that aren't so rough on the hands, like candy, like Skittles, and I like a lot of candy type food, but like things like Doritos and those style chips are probably a no-go for that sort of thing, right? Yeah, not having to draw terrain to scale helps out. Yeah, yeah. As long as they've got like a visual idea. And honestly, I find that sometimes like having a tactical map, as cool as it is, and as amazing as it is to have like that sort of grid-based combat, sometimes it detracts from the RP side of stuff, because it's like you're kind of looking at a map and being like, all right, this is all that there is there. It's harder to visualize certain things, like saying like, oh yeah, there's a chandelier above you if it's an indoors place, and then there's like these like little railings that you can like kind of climb up and down, and bookshelves and all that jazz. So unless you physically have all of that in display, it's hard to imagine it. Like say if you're playing like having a big fight in a two-story library, as an example for that, can't exactly represent where the chandeliers are, so that players won't exactly like think of things like, oh, can I run on top of the bookshelves and jump onto a chandelier and swing across it? Fun things like that. It's hard to visualize when you have a map that's meant to be showing off everything that there is there. It doesn't look right. I'm doing something wrong with this, but I'm not sure what. Maybe it's this part. Maybe it needs to be a little bit higher like this. Maybe it looks so artificial because I'm not doing like I don't have a sense of the 3D dynamic of a face yet. So it's hard to gauge. Maybe have a little bit of light on the edges of like these ones, these strands. Stuff like that. Then trying not to get an awful photo going for you. No, that's fair. It's not easy to take photos for miniatures. One of the biggest tips I give people when taking photos in miniatures is zooming in. Like by any chance, have you seen the model photography, what's it called, article on Warhammer Community? Because one of the things people will do is when they take a picture of a model, they'll just kind of like, especially on phone, like I take a lot of photos of my models on my phone because I like to have pictures of them, and sometimes I send them to my friends. But it'll just be like a quick snap. They'll just like kind of maybe put it against a white backdrop or like have some lights in, that's fine, and then just snap a photo. But one of the things that helps a lot with just doing some simple photography of it is zooming in. So rather than having it like 1 times, going to like 1.5 to 1.8 times, and then stepping back a bit, it just helps bring things into focus. Because when it's at 1 times, like especially if you're like a pretty dynamic model, the closer parts are more focused and the further parts are out of focus. But by stepping back and zooming in, it helps brings everything to focus. I'll go find that Warcom article that I'm talking about. My biggest issue is typically lighting. Yeah, that's fair enough. It's not easy to get good lighting. I usually use my desk lamp, which I use for, what's it called? For taking model pictures, or not model, for painting anyway, which is like a strip of LED lights. It's like a cheap one I got from like Officeworks. Relatively cheap, it's like about $50-$60. I don't know if that's cheap or expensive for a light. Probably one more on the expensive end, because you can get pretty cheap ones from like Kmart, I think. But excuse me. But generally it's kind of just like have a light, either like sort of lines of light, so that way the light's more evenly spread, or have a couple of like more focused ones. It's not easy to get the right lighting for a miniature. Hey, how are things, Keshi? But here you go, Swordfish. This is the article I was thinking about. It's a nice one. Like, it doesn't go super into specifics of everything. It kind of gives you a general idea of a lot of it. It does go a little bit more into like specifics of camera stuff, like iOS. No, not iOS. That's phone stuff. ISO, I think it is. Your frame rate and all that sort of things to help, like, if you're more into photography itself. But the general concepts and ideas behind them can be applied to everything else. I think most phones you can kind of change that stuff anyway, but in some cases it's just a case of like less so the in some cases it's your phones won't be able to do that, which is fine. Like, you can still take some really nice photos even without that, especially if your phone has a decent camera. Also, what are you up to, Keshi? How have things been? It's been a little bit since we've had a chance to chat, outside of like talking about the stuff you want me to draw. What are you up to tonight? Currently testing out some lighting stuff. Nothing super crazy. I'm just using like an old tutorial apparently saved on my phone ages ago, sometime last year, according to the date on it. I'm trying to practice bits and pieces of small things while I'm getting back into the swing of streaming, and eventually when I get my longer streams going again, it'll give me a little bit more time to actually like work on commissions and all that sort of jazz. But I need you to send me stuff, Keshi. Like, for the more recent commission or thing you wanted me to do, send me some reference images and links to stuff. So, like, send me the reference images of the individual characters and which pose you want them in, as well as what's it called? A little bit more about that last one you told me about that Joe dude with in the guard stuff. Alright. looks a little bit nicer. Yeah, still not perfect, but close enough. Save that. To the next one. Which direction do we want it coming from? I think the only other direction now is somewhere from the left. So this is the last one from the group of images I have here. I have another one that's I can use as well to get some extra directions and ideas, which I think I will do. We'll do this one and see how we're doing for time. Oh, it's already 11:30. Okay, we don't have as much time as I thought we did. I like to spend a lot of time talking about random stuff, which is not bad, but it does mean that it slows down me actually drawing. But you know, ain't the stream if I don't get distracted by something, am I right? Because I like talking to people. A lot more fun than just kind of sitting here in silence and drawing, which might make me more productive, but I feel like it'd probably make me feel a little less excited to stream. I don't know why as well, but like recently my my internet's been quite jank. Like it's been very good at disconnecting randomly while I'm streaming, and causing small problems like that. Hopefully we don't run into those problems today. I think the chin parts that I'm doing like this don't help as much since I'm doing like a more anime style, so maybe I should be doing them a little bit different now. Oh yeah, Keshi, if you're still there. I recently got back into TFT. Have you been playing that? I remember that ages ago we were talking about before I really got into it, and now I'm getting into it. It's like, oh yeah, maybe Keshi would want to play some games of it at some point. I've been playing a lot of quite a bit, trying to like grind up the ladder as you do with those type of games. And I think more recently I've been enjoying playing with some dragons, because they brought dragons back. I remember last time we chatted with it, which was ages ago, you used to go on about like how cool Shyvana was in the game, and they brought it back. I've been enjoying using her in the games. Probably a lot different than what she was before, but since then I could change it up every set, and even then throughout the set they kind of like change, but it's still pretty cool. I want to do more morning streams, but the problem is I do stuff like every morning. The only day I can do a morning stream is Saturday, assuming I don't sleep in. Because like I go to gyms in mornings or I go to work, so it's just like well, there's no time for it. Because I like the morning streams, but the only problem with morning streams is that they tend to make me very sleepy, because I have to wake up early. So if I sleep in, it's just like, I feel so bad that I slept in and missed the stream, because it's a little harder to start it later. So I've been trying to do more like of these evening streams, and more of the gonna try to do more afternoon streams. So like on days I have gym, I'll go to gym, do all that jazz, work out, but then I'll come back and then stream after I like eat some lunch. So that way I've got a little bit more time rather than trying to leave it to the last minute in the evening. Especially in days when I have other stuff on, like on Fridays and whatnot. Right, there you go. Put some lighting around here, maybe a bit underneath here. The lighting shading helps it. And I guess we can add some around here. And then some kind of breakthrough underneath her cheek as well, or around where her cheek would be. Yeah. I was hoping to go to more conventions. Like we have a couple here, but unfortunately I didn't get into them. I didn't get into Canberra or Sydney all those Comic Cons. I didn't get into geek markets or anything like that. So it's just like, well, I guess I'll have to wait till next year. But I'm very excited to then like kind of go a little bit more full on next year and go to a lot more conventions than this year. Like I only went to one, which was GamCon, which was really fun. But because I had a lot of fun with that one, I want to do more of them now. I want to go to them, actually like figure them out and plan and way in advance and apply as soon as I can. For the Comic Con ones, apparently like they put a not preference, but a higher priority if you make your own content, like either comics or just character stuff, rather than just doing only fan art, which I plan to try to do over the next year. I think that'll probably be a good goal to aim for. To start it towards the end of this year and get really into it at the start of next year. Maybe I can try be my New Year's resolution rather than trying to draw every day, trying to get some of my own character stuff, trying to do my own original content. Because I enjoy doing fan art a lot, don't get me wrong, but I also want to do some of my own stuff. But it's just a case of I don't feel like my skills are quite there yet, which makes it harder to then want to do my own stuff. It's a lot easier when someone asks me to be like, draw me, or like commissions me to like, draw me my OC and my own things and this sort of stuff. But when it comes down to my own things, it's just like, well, I have no idea. I always have a little bit of an easier time suggesting things to my friends than I do actually doing it myself. Hey, there you go. Save up. How are we doing for time? We got it's about 20 minutes to midnight. So, and we got to stream for another 10 minutes. At the very least. Maybe I'll do one more practice like this instead of actually, what's it called? Doing my sketching challenge, I think I'll do that. Because I could do a 10-minute one, but I don't really feel like it. Oh, you know what? Instead of that, let's do a bit of work on some commission stuff. I want to work on this one a little bit. Draw some of the bits and pieces. Okay. So let's start off with the head itself. This is a very rough sketch, so it's definitely not finalized or anything like that. I was using the pencil one. Yeah. Increase the density. So, start off with the neck, I guess. We'll hide the body for now. We'll keep the body there for this part, because I needed to draw. Draw that. And this. We wanted to kind of go on a little bit more. The body should probably go above the head, right? Maybe. Yeah, I think I need to put the body above the head like this. Which then means for the head, for the neck, for the collar, I need to do the sides. Yeah. Right. Which part of the body has that? Not that, not the ropes. The upper body? Yeah. The upper body doesn't want any of this. Since this part's gonna be the skin, we want like a skin color for it. So we go for this, make it a little bit brighter, make it a little less red. Make it not in this layer, but in this one, and we'll add an extra layer that's just gonna be like a light gray for everything else. Maybe a little bit lighter than that. But we can add that, we can turn that on and off whenever I need to. But for now, neck wants to be like dense watercolor. Ooh, there we go. Let's have a look at this. Cool. I like it. Having like that sort of like darker gray skins. Least terrible picture I could get for you. That's fair. But it's still pretty cool. Got like I like that it's like a sort of grayish color. That's pretty cool. Got a nice snow base. It's a campaign based in snow, or this is just happens to be what you're basing your things in. Hide the body for a little bit. We want this to kind of go around here and have like a shape kind of like this, I guess. And then for the neck up here, want to go up and then that's all my Gales gets. Nice. I have an Instagram that I use for my miniatures and all that, but I haven't uploaded it for ages. Mostly because I haven't done a lot of hobby for a while. Lots of little bits here and there, but nothing completed. But yeah. So the neck kind of needs to be over certain parts but under other parts, which is gonna be weird. So I might need to like figure out how to break everything down later, which is why we're doing it this way, to get some practice in. Alright, we got the neck. We want to get the face next. Which will then require like colors for. The neck a little bit. So the head needs to be kind of like for the neck. I'm gonna redo that because I forgot that I used this mirror line for when I do it. So let's hide the body, delete this part, hide this for now, and bring up the mirror. Those are fine. Let's redo this one. Yeah, there. Right, let's bring that back. Oh yeah, because I did the wrong layer. Then when I do the face, should have like a little bit more of an angle like that. The troops should get you getting a much brighter palette, which I think will make the blood pop more on the smaller minis. Just, like, you mean like the gray or everything is going to be a lot lighter? It's almost closer to white, or do you mean like what do you mean by like a brighter palette? Okay. So this is gonna be the face itself. Needs a new layer for the skin. And that should be more than enough for everything. Closer to white, yeah. Okay. If anything, like on darker ones, the red might pop out more because, like, since it's a darker color. But I guess when you go to the very brighter ones, it'll also pop out more because it's a very like how it pops out a lot on snow, for example. I guess the thing you want to be careful of is that it doesn't look too similar to the snow, because otherwise they'll kind of all blend in a little bit unless you find a way to break it up. Which might be ideal if you're trying to make it look like it's camouflaged with the ground a bit, but maybe not so ideal if you're just trying to, what do we call it, get a cool looking miniature. Okay, so we got the face. Next up we want to draw the eyes, the shell. Put on a new layer. One thing I'll do is I'll do both the eyes. I will do the eyes next. We'll go mouth first. Do you have any other cool... It's mostly blood letters in your Chaos Army? Or what other sort of miniatures do you use for your Chaos Army? Get the mouth. The nose. Okay, this one can turn mirror off, because it's only going to be on. Like that. We want the eyes, which will then split up into the left and right eye. The eye needs to be split up even more. So we got the eyes, our eye. So we have a new folder for in our eye, which is our eyebrow, which is what this one's in. We need a new one, which is going to be our pupil. Should be underneath eyebrow. Let me see how they break down the eyes. Eyes are a little bit more complicated. Well, mostly from the Chanel, but I've got a bunch of these double boxes from like 3 years ago. I see. Okay, so I gotta change up how I'm doing the eyes. So let's delete the eyes for now, because they seem like a lot of extra work. So see how they break down the mouth. So they recommend for the mouth to draw the skin around it. So let's go to mouth. Get this color. And get rid of the skin around the mouth. Let's do this as and mouth closed. We want a mouth opened, right? Mouth open. Which will hide this one. And then the bottom part of it should be different. So we should be able to do new layer. We go to here. I've been meaning to. I want to do a Slanesh army for what's it called? For Age of Sigmar, I think, because I like a lot of the Slanesh models from that set, like the Mortal Slanesh, like what's it called? The Blitzbarb Archers are probably some of my favorite Slaneshi miniatures. Is your Chaos armies mostly for 40k or Age of Sigmar, or a bit of both since you can use them in both as demons? They are nice, yeah. The Blitzbarb Archers are really cool. I have a set of them that I've started building up. Partially because I wanted to use one of them as a D&D miniature, since they look like really cool rangers in a sort of way, or just like a really cool character with a bow. But I also want to do them for sorry, I'm getting distracted by all the things I need to put in. But yeah, I just have a set of them because they're so cool. So mouth closed, mouth open. I need 3 colors. Looks of things. I need tongue, and beneath the tongue I need inside mouth, which should just be like a nice, oh excuse me. So the mouth itself would be like a darker reddish color. Let's hide the face, and then we'll add another layer that's just mouth skin, mouth open skin, MO skin. Give it a face for now. So the skin around the mouth first. That's what. Cool. Got the mouth open. We want inside mouth, which would be in here. We can change the colors later on, but this is mostly for practice, getting it ready to try out in live 2D. There we go. Right. There you go. And the tongue, which will be a similar color, but like lighter pink. No, you can be brighten that a little bit more. There we go. Cool. So we got an open mouth and a closed mouth. Yep. Not perfect, but you know, good enough for the practice. Animal ears need to be broken up as well. So just quite a bit more here than I thought it would. Still need to build mine. I really dropped off with the tome not coming out not coming out great alongside the lockdowns. Yeah, that's fair enough. It's a bit of a crazy sometimes how things line up. What am I working on at the moment? Ooh, thing I'm not working on yet. But thing I just picked up today is the Amazon Blood Bowl team. I've always liked Amazons, in terms of like how they play and everything. And I remember seeing them in the Legacy teams, like, oh, I'd love to see these models. Had a look at like the old models, wasn't a huge fan of them, but the new ones they made are really cool. I got a box of them, so I'm looking forward to painting up that sort of tribal style. And I think for all of them, I want to give them like tribal tattoos and all that sort of stuff, because I think that'd be a lot of fun to do. Although I'm not sure how I would do the tattoos on them, but you know, we'll figure it out. Okay. Some extra work. Take a screenshot of this to send to the person who's asking this of me. Slower. Oh. Sense it has a lot smaller components to it, which makes sense. Alright. Anyways, I've done a little bit of work on that. It is now a little bit past midnight, so I should be heading to bed. I wish I woke up in time so I could have streamed longer than just this hour and a bit, because I would have loved to get my work done. But tomorrow, basically, I'm going to work, coming back home, and then when I get back home, we're going to stream because I have stuff in the evening, so I plan to stream it when I get home, up to around dinner time, maybe a little bit earlier, depending on how much energy I got, but that's the plan. So it'll be like more of like an late afternoon, early evening stream rather than this late night stream. But either way, let me, we did a little bit of work on practice and a little bit of work on this, so we're slowly getting there. I reckon if I do it, it's kind of like how when I did my drawing stream. A little bit each day adds up a lot. So even though I'm only doing about an hour every day, and I'm kind of getting distracted, so I guess it's closer to like half an hour of an actual work, it's still progress, and that's all I can ask for. But yes, but hopefully you can manage to get your blood letters and all that painted up in time for your brain work for your session on Wednesday. Good luck with it. I don't know why I keep just forgetting what I'm saying halfway through saying it. It might be because I'm so sleepy, but you know. Give me a second to go look for someone to raid today. I think I'll try someone new because we could raid Luna. Oh, now you know what? We'll just raid Lunaris again. As long as they're keeping up this like really strong like finish a character every day, which is a lot more than I'm doing. I want to kind of support them in this endeavor because they're doing quite a bit of work, which is very impressive. So it's not much, but it's a bit of help, I think. So we'll support them for a little bit longer, and then I think I'll try to find someone else to raid tomorrow since I'll be streaming at a different time. But let's go give Lunaris Bloom some love. And I had a look at the challenge that they're doing, and I think it's a lot of fun. I'm a bit late to jump on it on this month, but maybe it'll be something I do next month, which could be fun. I could do it for my own character, or maybe find a cool character that I like, or just like do whatever. But at the very least, it gives me some ideas. Anyways, thanks for hanging out tonight, Swordfish, and everyone else who's been lurking about. We're gonna be jumping in and saying hello. So let's do my little super fancy transition to the end screen. And we're gonna go give him some love and say hi. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Like I said, it'll be at a different time. But yeah. See you guys later. Good night. Bye-bye.